find you very rude.
The Novympia channel is made possible by our gorgeous patrons who get access to the most unappealing crap you'll find anywhere on the whole internet.
Cue the snafu!
I've just faded in from the logo.
Got a problem that needs sorting out? Well, you're shit out of luck. It's your girls, episode 3 of a potential 6.
Can you believe that we're on the 3rd episode?
Can you paint with all the flowers of the morning breeze? Episode 3, I can.
So wrong.
I can believe it because that's just over a month, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it's fortnightly, 3 fortnights is over a month.
Yes,
Is it?
That's 6 weeks.
Thank you very much. Just try and gaslight me this morning. Well, we are returning to answer some of your...
It's like 5:30.
No, they don't know that, and you could have gone along with it.
Ah.
See, this is why we can't do improv. She's not into yes and. She's very much no.
Yes. And
You keep pressing me on all sides here. We're here to answer some more, or give some more advice.
you've given this 9, couldn't you?
Nova, it's interesting now. She's suddenly, had a second wind with the last video we put out, where you were just giving it all this. She's had a second wind now. That's rude, isn't it?
Well,
No.
it is clammy, isn't it?
I cannot believe how often, and I will be doing it here, so if you're listening and not watching, then you're in a good position, but I keep dabbing my face with this Regina Blitz. Let's just get it over and done with. I'm
What
going
does
to
the
do it.
thermostat say? What temperature does it say?
I went to look.
Right.
I don't know where it is.
You don't know where the thermostat is?
No. Is that something I should know about?
It's that right there.
What's that? That's a light switch, Nova. You
No,
don't know
round
anything.
the corner from it.
Well, I'm not getting up now, am I?
Okay.
Hot, it's warm.
Yes.
Is it on, do you think? No.
No.
Shouldn't be.
But it will tell us what the temperature is in the house.
Okay, it's hot, it's really clammy. And if you'll let me get a line out today, she's really on one. We are here to give advice. That's all I wanted to say.
Yes.
And once again, we still don't have the credentials, do we?
No, we've not introduced ourselves. This is really, really good.
Go on then.
Really great start to this
Go
podcast.
for it.
If you are new here, if you do not know who we are, my name is Nova.
And I'm Olympia, and we are just two ladies about the internet.
We are trying to give advice. People are writing into us with their problems, with their queries, and we're trying to give advice with our own special brand of nonsensical comedy.
It's a kind of
But
new modality.
I do just want to reiterate that we don't know what we're talking about.
We're not experts.
We're trying to give advice as best as we can, based on our own experiences. Like,
Just
we're
a bit
not
of fluff.
completely taking the piss.
Just a bit of fluff.
But if you really are struggling with something, if you really need proper help, we are always a big advocate for getting professional help. We are not professionals.
We're professionals at some things.
Take everything we say with a huge pinch of salt. This is just for entertainment purposes.
I wish you would use a huge pinch of salt when cooking.
It's not good for
So
your cholesterol.
today, it's not good for your mental health. Everything's bland. We're going to be answering some emails, some correspondence regarding what is it?
This kind of goes hand in hand with our dating and relationships episode, but this is more platonic relationships. We're looking at friendships. And we've had some great responses so far, haven't we, from people that we've spoken about. The Leonards, as they are affectionately referred to here. They replied, didn't they? And they were just like, oh, that was so great. I've listened to every word. No one's yet has come back and been like, wow. Yeah, actually, that's true.
That's the last
people
thing
that
I
we have
wanted.
heard back have all been quite positive.
Yeah.
Or they've been like, oh gosh, this was like 6 months ago because you asked for submissions a long time ago and it's taken you that long to do this podcast.
Well, that's you singular because you do the admin.
Right.
So, in the arena of friendships, Nova, what can you offer? Do you have friends?
Do you have friends? Yes. I was trying to think about because we've been doing this every episode, like trying to give a bit of information about our experience with the topic at hand.
Yeah, what have we got to offer?
I feel like I flitted between several social groups and friendship groups like at school.
Well, don't we all?
And then very quickly just lost that
after school. I did not really keep a lot of relationships going because I felt like a lot of people went to university and I did not do that. I went straight into full-time work. So I wonder if maybe I matured maybe a little bit quicker in that respect than my friends. And I very, very quickly learned to like, oh, we were just friends because we saw each other every day.
Yes.
And I kept a very, 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 very small handful of people from school. Now actually only just the one person.
You introduced me to, obviously, everyone who was in your life at the time 10 years ago when we met.
Yeah.
10 plus years. And some
Very
of them
different group of people
were
to the
hella
people in
tricky.
our lives now.
Some of them were so tricky. One of them turned out to be a huge racist, which, wow, that was an evening, wasn't it? When we realised that.
But I remember going through a period of time as well where I was like realising actually these friendships aren't real. And then thinking like, oh gosh, if I just like don't speak to these people, then I have no friends. I remember consciously thinking like, I need to like meet new people and like actually try and find some new relationships. I distinctly remember that being a thing.
Yes. Yeah, there were a few, weren't there, that we sort of would hang around with. But I guess that's the thing. I was speaking to a friend yesterday who I've known since I was maybe 12 years old. And she was like, oh, do you still speak to this one dude? And he was like my school buddy. So it was like every day I'd hang out with this dude and we would, we didn't explore each other's bodies before you ask. I wasn't even into the idea. So that gives you a bit of a clue. But, you know, we would go to school together. He lived in the road next to me. And he has now got a family. He's got children. He's a doctor.
That's so weird, isn't it?
Wild. The fact that we at one point could have potentially done the same thing with our lives. And he now has a wife and children and is a doctor.
And you're doing this.
I'm just doing this, aren't I?
Recording a podcast.
Although I will say,
dining room.
the smell of the furniture polish is lovely.
Great, isn't it? I love
really
it.
nice.
Yeah.
And I said, well, do you know what? I speak to, because she was like, how often do you speak to him? I was like, once a year, maybe. And this is someone that I would spend like the majority of my waking day with for how many years? But it's circumstantial. But it's circumstantial because would we have been friends though if we hadn't gone to the same school and lived so close together, like geographically? I don't know. So, you know, there are those forced situations, aren't there? And now we keep a close circle.
Well, we've spoken about in one of the previous episodes about realizing
vengeance.
About realizing the importance of the quality of your friends rather than the quantity.
So important, and that's people don't tell you that.
No, that's something that you learn.
People don't tell you that.
No.
I think people think certainly when you're a lot younger, it's so important to like have loads of friends.
Yes,
and you really value having lots of different acquaintances. But you don't. How can you really nurture that many?
Do you remember like your top 9 on like social
media? Oh my God, it was such a minefield of crap.
Yeah.
It's crap. It was so unimportant. And how many of these people do you speak to now? None of them. Some of them are such losers. Fucking losers. And I think it's very important, and that is not stressed enough, I think, certainly when you're younger, is the importance of just like one solid friend versus 10 watery ones.
I also want to say that I have consciously broken off friendships before, so I have experience with that.
Yeah.
Like,
and people have broken them off with you, I'm sure.
Yes.
Are we doing it now?
No, there was one case where that happened, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Do I know who that is?
You probably don't remember.
Okay, interesting. I'd like to know.
But yes, I feel like we've got experience to speak of.
I think for whatever the Leonards have got for us, we might be able to add a bit of sugar or something. What's the saying?
You can stick 20p in us and we'll say some crap.
We'll say some crap for an hour, won't we? That's us in there. We'll do anything for a check. So I think that are we ready for one?
Yeah.
Oh no. You know what I'm nervous for is when one finally comes along and I'm like, Leonard, I don't know what to say. I don't have anything for you, Leonard. So, you know,
okay,
try someone else. Attention, Novympia cultists. Listen, before we get started today, we've got some very exciting news. If you missed your opportunity to grab the Novympia plushies, do you remember these? Hello, darling.
So cute.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Well, you're in luck because we're teaming up with Makeship once again for a brand new design of limited edition plushies.
So these new plushies are going to be based on the looks in the new channel trailer, and if you click on the link in the description,
you'll see that this process is a little bit different to last time. So now you only initially have to pledge $2, kind of like a pre-order for these plushies, but we only have 10 days to meet our first goal before the campaign goes properly live.
So yes, 10 days, we need 200 pledges per plushie, and then a few months down the line they will then be $29.99 each, but that does include your initial $2 pledge.
Yes, when the official campaign goes properly live, when we have the designs, the rest of the amount will be automatically taken off, and there will be an opportunity for you to get a discount if you have ordered both plushies together.
And they can be shipped internationally, so for your chance to get a new set of quality bedtime friends, then check out the link in the description below and help us reach the target.
No.
Hi Novympia, I'm 35 male and my best friend, air quotes, is 26, also male. We haven't been friends for that long, perhaps a year or so, but our friendship has been very intense for that period, possibly seeing him more than I've seen my friends of years. However, every time we go out, it's very much his show and he is the centre of attention, and I often get pushed into the background, which I don't mind. But he seems to forget about me when he is like this, but expects me to follow him around to be by his side like a lapdog. He gets very rude, not saying please or thank you, etc., and pushes into conversations with guys I'm trying to get on, and often ends up getting with them instead. He often makes comments on my body too, commenting on how skinny I am or pointing out flaws. I'm unsure where to go from here and if I should break this friendship off. Any help would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Lenadina.
That is so weird. Oh, is that why you said Lenadina at the top end?
Yeah.
Just to clarify, this is two gay males we're talking about.
Yes, it sounds like, because they're both male and this best friend has been stealing guys from him.
Lenadina is how old? 30?
35, and this person's 26, so there is substantial age gap there.
Expand on that, Nova.
What do you mean?
Don't you hate when people say, can you expand on that? In an interview, you know, if someone, you give an answer and they say, that dear, can you expand on that? They're clearly just saying, I didn't like what you said, so speak more.
I don't know if that's what they're saying.
I hate that. So the age gap, can you expand on that, Nova?
Can I expand on that?
Yeah.
I wonder how they met.
It sounds to me like they're very social club types.
I also find it interesting that you describe this person as your best friend when you've only known each other for about a year or so. I understand becoming friends very quickly. Sure. And because, I mean, we became friends with Rolly and Luxaria very, very fast, and I would consider them to be quite close friends now.
Well, we had a lot in common with them.
Yes.
Same age, same job, same upbringing.
So it does happen.
It does happen.
I understand that, but I do wonder how you met. Maybe, yeah, just like...
I wonder if the air quotes there is because they just think that the term best friend is a bit immature and gross.
I think that's why they elaborated saying that they see them more often than friends of years that they've got.
So it seems to me like you are interested in carrying on a friendship. Now, Nova, correct me if I'm wrong. Can you expand on that? It strikes me that you want to carry on a friendship with someone that you don't altogether like. What does this person bring to the friendship?
I was going to say, do you know what I find very interesting about this?
What?
Is we have no idea as to the positives of this person. There's not a single positive thing about it. There's nothing to say what they have in common. There's no plus sides to this. And I don't know if that's a conscious thing, Lenadina, or if that's subconsciously. All you have to say about them is negative. I think that says a lot.
I just don't understand what the appeal is. I guess, okay, let's try and picture a peck of pickled penis. How's it go? Janice Pepper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Of Janice Pepper. So if Lenadina, 36... Now, in terms of the age difference, I don't understand that. I don't think I get that.
It's about a 10-year age gap.
Yeah, but if it was like someone in their 40s and 50s, it would make more sense to me.
I don't know. I feel like
30s and 20s seems...
26 and 35 are both fairly close to 30. I feel like we've got friends.
I just don't know that I would have someone in common with, or would particularly... Who's 20...
It is odd.
25. I don't know. I just really would like to know. This is what's... Because there's always something missing. These Leonards, they come in and they're very sweet and charming, and then they leave out half the story. I don't understand why you would be so invested in this if they treat you like crap. It might be because, do you wonder if Leonardina is 30, what was it, 6?
35.
Shit, I really wasn't listening, was I? 35. And it sounds to me like they enjoy clubbing still. They enjoy being social,
what it sounds like,
going
yes.
to bars and all that kind of stuff, which is a young person's game.
Because the main thing of this is centering around behaviour when out.
Yes, it strikes me that this is somebody who enjoys going clubbing, going to bars and stuff. We used to love nothing more, did we?
Yep.
And I think it speaks more to where we live. Bournemouth does not have a shit hot nightlife.
It used to.
For gayers.
And it does. You've got to have a basis of comparison. Like, we have more than most of the country does.
Yeah, but it's still not great. So I think the appeal of going out clubbing and stuff is less because there isn't really anywhere to go for us anymore. Like, kind of, but not really. So I wonder if it's like maybe you know, like you said, have a big number of friends who you've known for years, but they're not as into that. Maybe they've got kids or they're not still sort of...
Maybe you don't have many gay friends.
Gay friends or friends that enjoy the nightlife, who like to party.
I would like to know if you've ever called them out in any of this behaviour.
I'd like to know if you've ever hung out with them and not gone to a club or a bar.
Yeah, have you ever hung out sober? Because I want to fundamentally say right here, right now, that this behaviour is unacceptable.
Oh, it's dick. It's a dick thing to do. All of it.
It is unacceptable. It's not nice. It's very manipulative. It's selfish. And these aren't qualities that you should be accepting in your close friends.
It's not a quality you should accept in anyone, let alone a close friend.
So just getting that out of the way, have you ever told them, actually, you're being a dickhead?
Just shove it through their ring piece. Have you ever hit back if they've been like, oh, you know, you're like a joke about you being super skinny? Have you ever retorted with, you're a little...
Because this could be a point of learning. If they're 26, like, I'm not trying to patronise them because it's only a few years younger than me, but like, there's 26-year-olds and then there's 26-year-olds. They could be quite immature.
They don't know any better.
And they might not know any better. And it might actually take a close friend like yourself being like, people don't like you.
Yeah,
you need to be a nicer person.
Do better. Can we say the C word on the pod?
No, that will be censored.
Okay.
But
Good to know going forward.
Just the idea that, like, you need to have respect for people and you need to be a nicer person. It can be very easy if you were a popular gay in school and that's all you've been told, to grow up and just be a mean gay, to be a bitch. You're a bitch. You're a mean girl.
Yeah,
until someone tells you and until you stop getting that attention, because it sounds like he's getting a lot of attention.
It, yeah.
Until someone sits down and it's just like, this is not...
I just don't know. I don't know. This person doesn't make you feel good. I don't hang around with someone that doesn't make you feel good.
I agree.
You're much better on your own. Or hang out with the people that you've known for longer. Because if this has compelled you to write to us and makes you feel bad about, you know, your chances at like getting with people or about your own appearance and stuff, what the fuck is this person bringing to you? I would kick him to the curb and tell them to shove it through the aforementioned ring piece.
Yeah, I think if there's any part of this friendship that you feel is worth salvaging, then I do think a conversation needs to be had where you call them out on this behaviour. Otherwise, honestly, doesn't sound like it's worth it. Sounds like not a good person.
You could say, you could broach it from, you don't have to come in all guns blazing. You could say, okay, listen, Sebastian, where did that come from? Do we know anyone called Sebastian? I was... chirps in onto that one dude at the bar. And, I was really getting into it. And you came up and cracked onto him in front of me and essentially, like, cock-blocked me, right? Why did you do that? Like, why did you do that? Just be like, really honestly, did you really not see what was happening there? Why did you do that? You could have gone off
like this happens in just social situations as well, where it's not like someone you're trying to crack onto. And if that's the case, I would just be more assertive and just be like, talk over him. If he's interrupted you, just be like, well, just hang on, just talk over him.
Adult him a bit. And be like, excuse me, I'm trying to have a fucking conversation here, Sebastian. Can you go kick rocks? Yeah. But because I'd like to know what his response would be if you were to be like, why did you do that? I didn't realise you were talking to him. Why didn't you realise?
If you
You've got
behave
eyes.
like a lapdog, he's going to treat you like a lapdog.
Yeah, it just sounds bad all round.
Yeah.
Leonardina. I'd have a conversation with him, to be honest, darling.
Or just call it off.
I mean, this is the main thing about this that we're not really getting is what does he bring to this?
Yeah.
You obviously like him. I mean, maybe he's funny and you like him and he's someone to go out with, drinking and dancing. But, I mean, at what cost?
You need to
really?
consider if this relationship is worth an attempt at salvaging or actually if it's not.
I'd like to just make a point here about, I wonder if people think that in talking about friends and relationships and stuff, and there's a few times where we have been very kind of, oh, you should say this to them and do this to them and stuff. We do have the sort of experience to back this up. I think there will be there might be in here some examples where we can sort of tell, we can go into story time.
From direct personal
experience of when
yes.
we have actually said to people, okay, do you know what? This is not going to work. This is not going to fly. This behavior is bullshit. Because sometimes you just have to kind of do it. And it's uncomfortable. No one wants to do it. No one likes to get into those situations. Sometimes you can just like cut them off and just move on.
I have felt this way before with quote unquote popular girls. You know the type. And especially when you're younger, you want to be their friend. Because there's something about them, they're charismatic and you just want to be their friend. And they're very happy to have a gay hanging around them. But if you are just an accessory, if they aren't actually having a conversation with you, if they are talking over you, you do kind of just have to be like, oh, okay, this is really one-sided. What am I doing? Like, what am I doing?
This Sebastian, does strike me as the kind of person who sort of collects friends. Not to sound insulting to you, Leonardina, but who doesn't necessarily nurture, like we said, the close, small circle, but maybe treats people badly and flits around and has like a million friends. Everyone knows me, darling. But really, who knows you or who likes you? Probably not.
Lots of acquaintances, but who's actually
friends.
turning up to your wedding or your funeral? Like,
who's turning up to your funeral?
Who's turning up to your funeral?
I'll be at yours. We were at...
and I'll be at yours.
How's that going to work? We're both going to be at each other's?
Yes.
What is happening in our future?
Why am I dying first?
Why are we having a joint funeral? That's romantic. Is it? We went to a function not that long ago, and there was a guy who we were introduced to, and he was very, darling, I do this and I do that, and I have this amazing house, and I'm very, very lucky, and I do all this and do all that. Flitted around. Went to another sort of small group, did the same thing, could overhear it. And I was just like, this guy is fascinating. But he moved around at this event and was speaking to all these people. And after an hour, he was in the corner on his phone. And he couldn't get anyone to talk to him.
Yeah.
I was like, look at that dude sitting down over there. Do you know, if he actually tried to get to know people and wasn't so involved in the way he was coming across and I don't know, all of that bravado, it's such horseshit. He must have a very difficult life, because who really likes him? Who would like someone like that?
All you've got is shit small talk, and then no one wants to.
Once
everyone
you've
avoids
told
you.
people that you have like a brand new car, and I've got this really expensive fancy car. All right, what else have you got? Any game whatsoever? No, nothing. Don't want
What
to know
about
you.
the adult literacy rate in Djibouti?
Well, I would not break bread with anyone who was not horrified about the adult literacy rate in Djibouti. I'd like to thank Leonardina for that one.
Yes.
Yeah, should we move on to the second Leonard?
Yes, all right. Okay, so this next one,
Leonard.
Leonard.
Here are your Leonards. Do you remember inside the Actors Studio?
Vaguely.
Oh my god, yeah, of course you do, with James
I
Lipton.
know of it, but like I don't remember anything specific.
So, inside the Actors Studio, you'll love this.
Will I?
He would sit there and interview an actor, and they'd be sitting in front of students from the new school, some kind of New York performing arts, directing, film, acting school, whatever. I don't know what it was, really. But James Lipton would bugger off after the interview, and he'd let the students ask questions to the actor on stage. Mm-hmm. And he'd literally go, "Here are your students." And he'd get up and go, "Here are your Leonards."
I was going to say, like, what is the
Here are your
relevance of
Leonards.
that?
You've got to start now saying that every time. New thing on the pod. Here are your Leonards.
Hello, Novympia.
Hi.
First time writing in, long time hater. I would love to hear your advice about a bit of a dilemma I'm having with a friend.
Oh,
Again, air
whinge.
quotes.
Don't they whinge?
I'm noticing at the moment one of my friendships appear very one-sided. This person only pops up when they need a lift or some help with money or something. I care very much about this person and always will go out of my way to support them. But it's at the point now where they're only popping up when they want something. To the point I was on live talking about going out and she said, "When are you picking me up?" She never offers to pay me back for fuel and I feel like there's a general lack of respect for my time. Of course I don't do it for money, but I'm starting to feel like an absolute mug. Any ideas on how I can broach this topic, as I hate this feeling of a friendship feeling one-sided and don't want to be walked over. Many thanks in advance. Love you both.
Leonard, we'll call them Leonard.
This does have similarities to the previous one, but this one we've got it. It's been made very clear that they love this person.
They're taking advantage
want
of.
to support them, but
Yeah.
it's become clear that they're being taken advantage of.
Yeah. This one's particularly interesting, I think. Nova. Can you expand on that?
Because we've been through this
Yeah.
fairly recently.
Quite exactly the same, actually. Exactly the same.
Yeah.
We could have written that, couldn't we?
Yeah. This was somebody that we also cared about, that we also went out of our way to help in many ways, whether it be emotionally, financially, just general support. I feel like we went out of our way to support this person a lot, knowing that they wouldn't always be able to reciprocate in the same way. Like
For years, mind
fully
you.
understanding that.
For years.
And
we
not
did this.
expecting it. But then it got to a point where, like you said, it started to feel really, really just unappreciated to the point where these things felt expected. There were certain things that would happen and we'd be like, oh, I mean, obviously that's fine. But the way you just said that actually was not really the tea.
Yeah, the thing is, it's an awkward situation, and I'm sure if you're listening to this, you either are the person or you're the other person, or have been in a situation or know something about this, because it is common. Because amongst a group of friends, it's unpleasant, but there will be people who are in a better position than others financially or for whatever situation. It's like that episode of Friends. Do you remember? 3 of them earn a lot of money. 3 of them don't earn that much at all. And they were like, we can't keep going to these fancy restaurants because we can't afford it. That kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so then the 3 friends who are the higher earners they then start offering to pay for stuff, and the other 3 are like, but that makes us feel this small.
Yes.
So it's a very delicate balance between, for example, if we were to, if we want to have like a party, if we want to have like drinks and stuff, and we would say to someone, like this person, for example, or, someone else, we would be like, let's do drinks, or let's, go out or whatever. Because we want to do it.
If it's our idea.
We're planning it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I'm a bit stony this month. I can't really do it.
But we want this person's company.
We'd be like, listen, we can come and get you. We haven't got to go out. Why don't we just stay in? We've got booze from the last party. Let's just whatever. No money. Fine, because we're suggesting it. So there's certain ways that you can kind of, broach that without it being obvious, where it's like, we will pay for you.
But with this person in particular, they started to take advantage of our work. So I used to be a hairdresser, and I would get moments where I would always give friends and family real big discounts, like huge discounts, because as far as I'm concerned, these are the people that helped me qualify in the first place. I did my assessments on them, so it's kind of paying back to that. And I would always prioritize like full paying customers anyway over friends and family. That's just simple business sense. So I'm fitting you in if I can fit you in. And this person started to think that they were in a position where they could complain about the work I was doing.
Well, you would.
Or not actually asking, because I wouldn't do things for free, not actually asking how much things were. I would just throw money at me and they'd be like, oh, actually, this was twice as long as last time, so I'm going to want more than that. Just that was annoying and being taken advantage of.
It became very expectant. And, that was with so many things, with alcohol, and I get lifts is a thing. Lifts
Yes.
is a real thing, and there was a lot involved with this. And yeah, it would be to the point where they would start critiquing us for doing things not quite like the way that they liked it in a number of different areas. And because, like you've said, you care about the person. The person, you know, in our situation, yeah, they'd had a string of bad luck and, you know, struggled in a few different areas. So it was always the case of like, we'd have a bit of an eye roll and we'd be like, okay, listen, it doesn't matter. We are lucky enough to be in a position where we can do this. You know, pick up an extra bottle of wine. It's not like the end of the world. Do you know what I mean? Something like that.
I also just want to reiterate this timeline was over a few years because, like we said, we would never do this expecting anything. It just, we started to notice a pattern
over at least about 6
started to notice
years.
a pattern of behaviour, and
it was a long time.
little things like just not even saying thank you.
Very small little things.
I'm not
would creep
saying
in
like
and you'd
I'm
be
a teacher. Like, what's the magic words? Like, I'm not like that. But like, just
No,
actually
but this
show
was
some
my
appreciation.
point. We did not bat an eyelid for years and years because we were like, does not matter. It doesn't matter. You know, we care about this person. They're in a rough spot. It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit about like going to pick someone up or, you know, take someone to an appointment or whatever. I don't care. I'm not trying to. It's not like you're lording it over.
They're
someone.
our friend.
We're not
we care about them.
Keeping a list of, okay, I did this for you, so now you have to do this
Absolutely
for me.
not.
It's none of that. It's absolutely, what's the word? Like, there's no debt.
Superfluous.
There's nothing at all. But it went on for a long time, and
We decided. Well, there were a couple of things that broke the camel's back that we were actually that was very selfish. That was really ungrateful. That wasn't very pleasant. So we made a conscious decision between us to see how long it would take if we did not message this person, if we didn't invite this person somewhere.
Nothing.
How long it would take for them to actually say, oh, do you guys want to come round for a cup of tea? Did you want to do something? How are you guys? How long it would take for them to reach out to us? And it took a very, very, very long time. Eventually, we got a message being like, is something wrong?
and we were just like, yeah, there is actually something fucking wrong. So then we just had it out with them. We were like, listen, we're not suggesting that we need our asses eaten. Or that's
graphic.
That's a graphic way of saying it. What do people say? We don't need our asses kissed, not eaten.
Right.
Although, you know, once in a while might be nice, never. We don't, you know, we're not trying to be like, look how amazing we are. Can we get a thank you and a bunch of flowers every week for being so amazing? It's just that it just got so weird, and like we're supposed to be your friends, not your parents.
Yes.
That's how it ended up feeling.
Yeah.
So we just told him everything, didn't we? We were like, listen, this is some BS.
This person also had like troubles in their personal life, which we had given like a lot of advice on, and it was advice that we could see was being ignored, and that's frustrating because I can only be a shoulder to cry on for so long if you're not actually going to listen to the advice we're giving. That's very frustrating. So we had it out. We had a conversation, adult conversation. This person pretended like they had absolutely no idea. It was also starting to be a bit embarrassing because we would have mutual friends say to us, like, what's the deal with that person?
Yeah, why are they so rude
Why
and expectant?
Why are they treating you like that? And we'd be like, oh, this is really embarrassing.
To the point that they treated us badly, and people were like
starting to comment on it.
You're being kind of like mugged off, and we were like, listen, we're not being mugged off because this person is our friend, and they're going through this, they're going through that,
yes,
and they just need some help. You stand by people, don't you?
So we had this conversation. This person said, thank you for telling me. I had no idea. I'm really sorry. I will try to change things. Things were fine for maybe like 3 or 4 months. Then they went straight back to how they used to be. We did the same tactic. We stopped communicating with them to see how long it would take for them to reach out to us. A similar thing happened, similar amount of time, maybe like several months later. What's going on? Why are you guys like, why have I not heard from you? Like, what's wrong? And then we basically had it out again and just never spoke to them again.
Well, we caught them out in a lie, didn't we? And we were just like, this is not, what is the point of this? What is the point? We
gave them a chance. We gave them a benefit of the doubt. I feel like we were very, very fair. And when we could see, in fact, we kind of, before we even got to the final blow, before we even got to the stage where we were like, well, that's the end of this friendship.
Wait, who are you talking about? I'm joking.
Before it got to this stage, we were like, well, that's the end of this friendship. We actually, between us, had accepted that, like, okay, so this person, clearly, we're never going to be friends with them like we were. But if this is someone that we just see at like large gatherings, we just see them at big parties,
See them
like,
at the
that's
bar,
absolutely fine.
something lovely.
Like, we can be pleasant, we can catch up whenever, but like, we're never going to have that close relationship that we used to.
Which is fine.
And that's fine. And we were fine with that. And we were happy to let it be like that. But this person wasn't.
No.
But it didn't want to make any effort to change
I did
it.
not understand what they wanted from us in the end. It was so weird.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre, just kind of like stringing us along, but it was just so toxic to be around. It was awful.
Toxic. And this sounds so similar.
Very, very similar.
So similar. So I would advise the same thing. The very first thing, and it will really be an eye-opener for you as well, is to see how long it takes for them to reach out to you. If you're not facilitating things, if you're not arranging to meet up, if you're not doing X, Y, and Z, see how long it takes for them to reach out to you and ask to meet up or to do something without actually asking you to do something. Because that was another thing. We would often get like, oh, we should meet up. Okay, where?
When?
Why was
I can't be doing that.
it was always down to us to
I
plan and
cannot. Do you know what
decide.
irks me? Probably more than if someone asks you for advice and you think you've got an absolute banger and you're like, listen, you don't want to hear this, but this is what you need to do. And they just, you can tell like, and they just are not listening to a word you're saying. That's so irritating. Wait, what was the other thing that was annoying that you just mentioned?
About asking to meet up, but then you having to
you see
do the rest of
someone
it.
that you haven't seen for a while. Oh my God, we should go for drinks. Don't even bother saying it. We should go for drinks. Are we going to? Where are we going? You should
Unless
literally...
this person is saying, here's my number, there's a really great place in town that's just opened up, I'm free on this day,
Why don't you
WhatsApp
go?
me, and maybe we can go for... Unless it's like actually a date, a time and a place, it's not going to happen.
We should meet for drinks. You should... If that happened, the next time that happens, you bump into someone who you're not really that close with, and they stupidly say, oh, we should really meet up. Look them square in the fucking face and say, where and what time? And just watch them crumble. They don't have any interest in it.
This is my first piece of advice, though. What happens with that? If you're not putting in all the effort you're doing at the moment, are they?
If you want to avoid like a full-on conversation, because it's so fucking awkward. And again, it's essentially...
Like a breakup.
Huh?
It's a breakup.
Yeah, but it's letting the person know that perhaps they are just taking advantage in a way that's uncomfortable to you. You don't necessarily need to, completely sort of bin them, because it sounds like you don't want to. But you might, if you're particularly against the idea of having a full-on conversation where you're essentially telling them, I don't mind doing this and that, but you are sort of stepping over the mark a bit, which is hella uncomfortable. You could just say the occasional thing. Or in fact, just say no to something.
You've used
just
an
say
example
no.
here of she never offered to pay me back for fuel. Little things like that.
You could
maybe
just say,
start asking.
Just say,
Maybe actually start asking.
Can you set me 20 quid for that? And if they say no,
and you can be
you're
very
like, I'm sorry,
casual.
but why no?
You can be very casual and just be like, I'm sorry to ask, but like, can I
If you're
have...
on Instagram Live and she asks when you're picking up, you can be like, oh, why, you're trying to sponge another lift?
Yeah, you can make jokes about
can make
it.
it a
You can
bit
turn it into a joke.
More humorous.
Yeah, that's also a good way.
And then you might avoid that
point might
out
get
and out
across.
conversation where you're like, please stop doing this. But just ask for it. I'd be like, okay, well, if you're gonna come in my car, do you want to set me some money for fuel? No? Okay, well then you're not coming in, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't really know if we've got anything else to say on that one. I think we've said all we can.
Yeah, you don't have to be really intense, but just know at the back of your mind that it might have to get to that point. And if that's the way it is, unfortunately, that's the way it is.
I understand that you say that you're helping this person up with money sometimes and things like that. So it sounds like they're in a less fortunate position than you are, similar to what we were like with our friend. But then you have to consider to yourself, sure, they might not be in a position to reciprocate in that way, but do you still feel like you're getting something out of it? Like, is this friendship nourishing to your soul? Like, are you enjoying this friendship? Is there
kind of
a social aspect? Like, do you like hanging out with this person? Like, is it worth that?
Yeah.
And if it's actually just starting to stress you out, if it is just starting to piss you off, that's wavering a bit. What are you getting out of this?
It's no good. You've got to look after yourself. I mean, it's fine. It's good to look after other people. Of course it is. But then at the end of the day, you've got to look after yourself. So what are you doing there then?
And it can be tricky as well because it's considering this... What's the word I'm trying to find?
No.
No.
No good at
Depending on the situation this person is in, you can feel obligated to kind of like look after them, but that's not a reason to be friends with somebody.
We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Okay, this one is wild.
Welcome back. Wild. Here are your Leonards. Come on, Leonard, what have you got?
Hey girls, I have a little dilemma involving sleeping with a friend recently and don't know what to do. So I'm 26, male and gay, and the friend is 26, female, who is bi. We have been friends for 7 years from working together at our old job, but stayed in touch long after we both quit. We text all the time, plus we catch up in person every couple of months for a night of drinks along with some other people we worked with. Recently, my friend celebrated her 26th birthday, so me and one other friend went over to her house for drinks and a Chinese takeaway. All was good and well, but the other friend had to leave around midnight due to her little girl playing up for her babysitter. We carried on drinking till 3 a.m, and at that point, we're pretty wasted.
Oh my God.
We started talking about sex, and next thing we knew, we were kissing. I kept saying we should stop, but she said no. After a while, we went upstairs and started doing the deed. And again, I kept saying, "Are you okay? Should we stop?" Again, and she said, "All fine." Being wasted, we both never finished, if you get me. So after a while, we went to sleep. The next day, we had plans to meet up with the other friend again for Pride in our town, and then go to the beach with both of my friends' kids.
There weren't no Pride that day.
And we did. All was fine and not weird at all. Turns out, she doesn't remember anything past 11 p.m. Meanwhile, I remember every little detail. Should I tell her what we did and risk making our friendship awkward, or should I just let it pass? Many thanks from another Leonard.
Thank you, Leonard. First of all, I'll try and be sensitive about this. But when you slipped to the hot beef injector,
Oh my God.
was it conventional vaginal sex? Does it mention that?
No, it doesn't.
You get what
mention
I'm
that.
suggesting there. First of all, do you believe for 1 second that she doesn't remember it? Bullshit. She remembers every dirty second of it.
Not now you say it, no.
Do you really think she doesn't remember it? If you're hella awkward and weird about it, so is she. And she's just taken the decision to be like, you know what? We do not have to talk about that again. So, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah. She can't, you don't know for sure that she doesn't remember it. She's just choosing not to talk about it. Because, did you bring it up with her the next day? Did he bring it up?
No.
To suggest, how do you feel about last night? Unless she said, I don't remember what you're talking about regarding sex.
How do you know that? How do you
know she doesn't remember it? But she's probably just choosing not to talk about it.
So she's just saying that she doesn't remember anything past 11 p.m. and this happened around 3 a.m.
You've slept with a woman.
Me?
Yep.
Is that a joke?
As a question. You've not.
No.
Why? What's wrong with women? Can you expand on that?
Well, I'm gay.
Okay. We can tell by that really masculine necklace.
Thanks.
I have had not exactly the same situation because I didn't know her as intimately as it sounds like you do, as in like best friends. I slept with a girl where I must have been about 19 maybe, and the next day neither of us spoke about it. It was not mentioned. It was so unbelievably awkward. For me, it wasn't because we were like really close friends. It's because I thought she was kind of slightly, what's the word? I want to use this very delicately. She wasn't highly thought of by other people. I think they thought she was a bit loony. So they were just, I don't know, people would, anyway, whatever. So I was a bit like, oh God, so first of all, it's a girl, that's kind of weird. Second of all, yeah, I think
somebody that if your other friends found out, they'd kind of
rib
what the fuck?
Rib you for doing it. She was very attractive, that's not the thing. It's just that she was a little bit kind of like suspect, I think. So the next day, what did we do? We wake up and did not mention it, didn't speak about it again. And I was of the thing of being like, well, were we so drunk that she doesn't really remember it? I'm not going to ever bring this up ever. It'll be my little sort of secret, and that's fine. And of course she did remember it. And I found this out weeks later because she had told someone that she thought she was pregnant, which, first of all, absolutely hysterical, because you know, Leonard, that's not going to happen for many reasons. But, you know, she escaped my biology that night. Because nothing was working. It wasn't working. God. So I was real drunk. Nothing was functioning properly. It was like, well, just sort of like bended into a point.
Okay.
And it was like that the next day, exactly the same. So first and foremost, I think that she remembers.
I think if you have the kind of friendship with this girl that it sounds like you do, and if this is like really eating at you, which it sounds like it is, maybe just message her and just be like, this is totally random, but like,
oh,
this
it's
happened.
totally random.
This is a thing, right? Like, we didn't have to talk about it, but like, I just need to know that I'm not going crazy, that like, we all remember that this happened. Like, we don't ever have to talk about it again, but like, I'm worried that you might not remember, and I just want that to be out. Just blurt it all out.
Yeah.
'Cause that could be funny. Like, it could be funny.
I think perhaps make it clear, though, that... or I wonder, Leonard, if she's not saying anything because she thinks about you what I thought about that girl, that she would get an absolute ribbing for it if people found out.
Well, then maybe that's
Maybe
why
you're
need to
a bit of a
ask
weirdo.
her.
I just think that you do that. That's great. Just a text and be like, "Oh,
Don't
look."
give Leonard something else to be paranoid about.
Well, Leonard needs all the information. We're not about to give Leonard little tidbits here. They need to go over the full platter.
Right.
And you can also be like, listen, I don't ever want to bring this up. We don't have to talk about this. Like, how fucking weird was that? Whatever. Let's move on. Let's never talk about it. If you kind of outline in this text that you're not planning on spreading it around everywhere.
Oh, no. Just be like, you just need to know that, like, she knows, because you're just... Yeah. It's weird and awkward. And like,
Listen, Barb, it weren't the best sex, but I just want to make sure that you're aware that happened. And, lol, oh my God, how random when we shagged. Something like that. I'm not suggesting that we script it. We'll leave Leonard to scripting it.
maybe there could be, I mean, this might be the time, too much time might have passed. Maybe there could be an opportunity where if you're like having a sort of repeat kind of like house party thing, you can make a joke about like, oh, we won't have a repeat of last time.
Scene of the crime.
Something like that.
Take her on a date. Well, go full hog. Go full hog with it. See how far she's willing to go.
No,
You might end up, really in love.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? I wonder if she told the friend who left at like a bit earlier.
You can't go asking anyone else about this, though,
No, you
just
can't.
in case.
Do you feel weird about it though? Because I felt very, very strange. But looking back now, I mean, it was just one of those things where you have too much to drink and those kind of things happen.
I suppose, you've not actually said that you feel weird, but I feel like you must have a little bit to even write this to us.
Yes. I wonder if it's because do you feel hurt or something that your friend hasn't kind of brought it up? Has it actually changed your relationship with her? Does she act differently with you?
That's a really good...
Because if she sort of gives you the cold shoulder here and there, you know for sure that she remembers it. There's a few bits there I definitely want to follow up on this one, please, Leonard.
If you feel like you need to break the ice about all of this and just get it out in the open, then do so. Mm-hmm. If you don't think that's necessary, maybe just let lions lie.
Maybe just let lions lie. Is that a thing, is it? Perhaps just move on and don't... And yeah, if it's not that big a deal, because I'm pretty sure she remembers.
Yeah.
And she might just feel a bit weird about it, doll. And that's fine. You can just put it behind you. That's what friends do, right? Just put it behind you.
Just have casual sex with each other.
Yeah, you could do... There's a line in Austin Powers, Gold Member, I think. Actually, this is very apropos because this is a storyline in... I think it's in Gold Member.
Right.
Where Dr. Evil sleeps with Frau Farbissina.
Right.
And, they're colleagues, they're friends.
Yes.
And then eventually they do it. And then the next day at work, at the sort of evil layer... Frau Farbissina sort of approaches Dr. Evil and they're very, very cold with each other. Hi, yeah. Oh. And then suddenly he says, it got weird, didn't it? Yeah. It's a little bit like that. Maybe you could...
Just literally
was it
breaking
good?
the ice. Well, that doesn't sound like it was. They were just wasted, just fumbling around doing nothing much of anything.
Have a plan in place if it gets weird. If maybe she's thinking the same thing, she's gonna bring it up with you.
Maybe we're going to get another one of these.
Yeah. Oh my God, my gay friend slept with me. She brings it up with you. You can't panic and just say, "Not the boar worms." You've got to have an actual full-on plan in place to be like, it's not that big a deal. We don't have to harp on about this. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Was it good for you? It was not good for me when I slept with that one chick.
Okay, great.
Yeah. She had thrown up.
This sounds like...
Worse and worse.
Yeah, maybe we speak less about this.
She was the one that was egging it on.
Okay.
Yeah. But she had thrown up in the evening prior.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Is there another Leonard for us?
Okay, this one is also kind of crazy.
Oh my God.
Like
these Leonards.
This is a lot.
Here are your Leonards.
To unpack this one.
Okay.
Hi, girls.
Hi.
I enjoyed your wisdom so much in the Absolute Agony debut that I thought I'd share my current dilemma. I understand that it might not fit any of the themes you plan to discuss. I'm a married female, older than Britney, but younger than Barbie. I love that.
Oh, wait. Hang on. Let's unpack that. Older than Britney. How old's Britney Spears? 40-something?
I would say, yeah.
40, maybe?
Maybe like 40.
And Barbie is from the
50s, I think.
50s. All right. Yeah. Okay, we get whereabouts we're at then.
A longtime friend recently RSVP'd to an upcoming Friends reunion with his apologies. He can't make it because he will be on a family beach vacation. No problem. Told him he'd be missed, but have a great time.
Okay.
Then he confesses that this is a trip to try to win back his wife, a female, if that helps to set the scene, from whom he has been separated for close to 2 years. Great. I really hope it works out. Then he informed me that he has arranged for the trip, that he has arranged for the rest of the family, including their kids with whom they share custody, to not go on the trip.
Oh!
He wants to be alone with his estranged wife and doesn't plan to tell her until they are actually at the beach, hours away from home.
It sounds like he's gonna kill her.
I think it's a terrible idea.
Of course it's a terrible idea!
As do 2 other mutual friends, both male. I refer to it as an ambush. They are inclined to agree, but they both think we should let him proceed with his plan and hope for the best. I'm conflicted. I'm the closer confidant, but our friend didn't ask my opinion this time. Still, I think someone should point out the wife's perspective, which I don't think he has considered. They have remained on good terms, but live apart. They've been together about a dozen years, but none of us know her, just what he's shared with us. She hasn't come around when we've had previous meetups. Personally, I hate surprises and would be furious if I expected to enjoy a family holiday, but was duped into spending all of it with a spouse from whom I'd chosen to separate. What do you think? Is it a no-brainer like the guys think? Leave it alone, he's a grown man and it might work out. Or would you intercede if a good friend was likely to get his heart broken and possibly ruin any chance of a reconciliation? If so, how much would you say? I appreciate your reading this. If you choose to use it in an Absolute Agony pod, please call me Abby from Arkansas or something. There's a chance Sam or all of the guys might see or hear it. I frequently direct them to your videos, so they're Novympia fans now too. Thanks, girls.
That's a really specific situation, so I don't think a pseudonym's really going to get you out of that, Abby from Arkansas. Listen, Leonard. You don't want to paint every straight male with the same brush. But generally speaking, a lot of men are fucking idiots.
Oh my God.
So don't listen to the friends who are like, oh yeah, this is really romantic. It sounds like something he's cooked up from some sort of rom-com. In reality, that is the worst idea I think I've ever heard.
This isn't even so much about your friend getting his heart broken and ruining chances of reconciliation. Think about this from the point of view of the woman. I'd be terrified.
So let's just break this down from her perspective. She thinks she's going on a family vacation and all of a sudden
with their kids.
She finds herself in an isolated cabin somewhere in the middle of nowhere being surprised by her ex, who is who is doing what. She doesn't really know. How's he going to spring this on her? I want to get back together.
First of all, she's going to be like, where are the kids?
It's scary.
Like, where
Scary.
are the children? Where are the children that I've been telling we're going on a beach vacation with?
Your ex-husband has lied to you to get you alone in an isolated place that from where she's coming from.
Unhinged behaviour.
She doesn't know anyone knows where she is.
He would have a much, much better chance at trying to rekindle their relationship if he just did this as he had told her, if the kids were there. Prove to her that you're a family man, that you're there for the kids, and then there's going to be opportunities, like the kids will be about, you can speak with her, you can have this moment with her, you would have a much, much higher chance if you just didn't lie to the woman.
This is such an astronomically terrible idea. I am actually stunned that people agreed with this and you should go along and do it. That sounds like the worst thing men are so annoying. I would be furious. You think you're going on a lovely family vacation and all of a sudden you're alone on some romantic getaway you didn't sign up to with someone that you've already broken up with. It makes no sense.
I think you're right. You outlined it here. What was the wording?
I hate it.
Duped into spending all of this vacation with the spouse from whom I'd chosen to separate.
Exactly. If she wanted to reconcile things, she would have already done it. It's not... I wonder if it's like he has no concept... I mean, obviously he has no concept of what a woman would kind of want or appreciate anyway. I mean, a surprise vacation, possibly, if you're going to be like, I've done this and I think we should go here and it could be lovely, and explain and outline it is one thing. But it's not necessarily that he doesn't really get that, but he clearly doesn't even get this woman because she's not going to like it. We don't even know who she is and she's not going to like it.
They've been separated for 2 years.
It's over, doll. It's just move on. Move on. I know that's easier said than done. I'm sitting here from my dining room. I don't know who these people are. It's easier said than done, but fuck.
Yeah.
What? I'm so shocked by that.
Yeah.
Imagine. Oh, you think, well, this is hard. This reminds me of when do you remember? Now listen. I gave you a lovely, for example, hypothetical idea of if we come across a baby in the woods. Right. And we have to rescue and save this baby.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And this was on Full of Shit, which is my solo podcast, but Nova would come on it occasionally. And I prepared this scenario, and it was, how do you take care of a baby? Like, we don't have a clue. We don't know, do we? And my God, the hoops you jumped through. Well, I wouldn't be in the woods. Well, there wouldn't be a baby. Well, I'd give it to someone else. And I was like, Nova.
Because with those... I don't know what the relation is with this, but with those situations you were giving me, I needed more facts and information because that would inform my behaviour and what I would do. I needed more information.
I basically wanted...
What was the context?
If this wasn't like a movie or anything, it was, Nova, how do you take care of a baby? Like, how do you think you do it? Like, do we go get a towel for some reason? Don't they need towels? Or is that just when they're ladies give birth and people are like, I need towels.
You got to keep them warm.
Okay, see, we're not doing this now, but that would have been useful back then, but she was jumping through hoops. The point is, I was trying to give you...
where is this going? Bring it back.
Okay, if you were, going for a vacation and you think your kids are going to be there, and that's when I stopped because I was like, well, you would never have kids. And this is when you would be like, well, I'd never go on there because I'd never have kids. And it's like, that's not the point. Do you see? Expand on that.
What is the relevance to any of this? What are you talking about?
I can't put you in that position and ask you how you would feel because you would then be like, I don't have kids, which isn't nigh not the point.
I'd be terrified.
Yeah, you'd be.
At best, she's going to be furious and is going to leave. As soon as she realises the shit that's been pulled on her, she will leave. At worst,
she'll call the
police. She's going to think, this
Where are the kids?
Man has lost his mind and I have to be very, very nice to him because this could go south very quickly, and she's going to be terrified the whole time.
Her first thought is going to be the kids. She's going to want to know where the kids are.
How can she take his word for it? You see this all the time. Like, there's every possibility in her mind, I'm sure, that he could have snapped Like,
and
this could be
he's
a
got
mental
rid of the
break.
kids, and
Yeah.
she's next.
How can you believe what
That's
you're saying?
not a scenario that you only see in movies. That is a very real life scenario. It's rare, but it fucking happens. And that's, I think, where her mind's going to go to first. Where are the children? Oh, they're staying with X and X. Prove it. Call them right now.
Yeah.
And then she's
You'd
going to
be
want to
so
call the
flustered.
police.
You'd be so flustered. The last thing on your mind is going to be like,
Oh,
let's just
how
have
romantic.
a lovely, cozy weekend with my ex. Like, there's
It's
obviously a reason they broke up.
fundamentally flawed that he believes that they can rekindle a romance on a lie. He's lied to her to get her
Yes.
there.
Oh my gosh.
If
yes.
she wanted to do that and was open to the idea, it would not require a
lie.
lie and a ruse to get her there. She
he
would go
could have
openly.
just said to her, "Would you like to go for dinner this night?"
I would really like to reconnect and go slow. And why don't I meet you for
Doesn't
coffee?
even have to go into all those details. Just literally ask
Meet
her
me for
out
coffee.
for dinner or
we
for
go for coffee and have a chat.
And if she's responsive, that's a good sign. If she's not, that's the end of that.
Amanda, Abby, what's she called? Leonard.
Abby from Arkansas.
I fully want you to play this to them, please. Oh, they might have already gone. Might have already happened. We should check the news. I'd like you to please get back to us and let us know if they've already done this, if they were spoken out of doing it.
because that is absolutely deranged behaviour.
That's wild. You can't get away with that.
And it's also it's the kind of thing that only a man could get away with.
Men.
A woman could pull that off.
Hopeless. A lesbian would pull that off.
Yeah.
A lesbian might love that.
Lesbians play different kinds of mind games, in it.
They
Whole
play
other
different
level.
games. They play different games.
Whole other level.
You know, while we're out here doing Scrabble. Rummy Cub. Would you play Rummy Cub with me?
I don't remember how to play it.
I love Rummy Cub. I've got the app.
Is it Cub? I thought it was Cup.
Nova. Rummy Cub.
Don't know.
I've got the app. But there's a time limit. They put a time limit on it. And people are so intense with it. They, you know, like on some chat rooms and stuff, or if you play games, there's a button you can press where it's like, hurry up. Or you can send like little, you don't know this because you're not cool.
Okay.
But I'll play it and then people will be
I
like,
might be bored
TikTok.
of this.
But you will play it with me. Why don't we have drinks and play Rummy Cub after this? What are we doing tomorrow? Anything?
I need to edit this.
Oh, we want to play Rummy Cub and have
I'm
some
streaming
drinks.
tonight as well.
Fine, Nova. I'll play on my own.
Got work to do.
As per usual. I enjoyed that.
There were some really salacious ones.
Very interesting. I think there's a couple there that really just rely on, you know what? It's time. Just have a little word with the person. It's
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Stop eating shit.
It's uncomfortable, but you just have to be like, what's going on there? And you don't even have
Take
to be...
some time for yourself. Put yourself first for once.
Yeah, super, super direct. But every once in a while, just call them out on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think in terms of sleeping with that lady, I wouldn't worry about it too much because she obviously knows about it and has chosen not to talk about it because she's
If things
also
are chill,
a bit
let it be.
mortified.
If you're freaking out, then just say to her.
Don't worry. And Abby from
Arkansas.
Argentina, yeah. This guy,
Your friend has lost his mind
this
and you
guy
need to tell him.
is an idiot. So tell him that that's a horrible
Yeah.
idea. And that's a great selection from the Leonards. Thank you very much, here are your Leonards. And thank you for listening to this episode of Absolute Agony with your girls.
I am really enjoying doing this.
Yeah, I think it's been good. We're already halfway through season 1.
Yeah, can you believe it?
Halfway.
You were so reluctant to do this.
Yeah, I was, because I thought... And what did I think? No, what should I say?
Waste of time.
No, not waste of time. You can't sit still or have a conversation. You get very in your head.
This is 3
Do you want me to
episodes on
find an episode of full of it where I was like, hi, Nova, and you would go, hey, yeah.
now?
And then you'd yawn. She'd yawn at me.
Well, maybe if like the content's engaging, then
Maybe if,
yeah,
Don't worry, I'll do everything. Friends.
you'll do everything.
How to get them, where to get them.
Right.
With Nova, that could be your autobiography, couldn't it?
All of our
I've
social
got friends.
media
Oh, sorry. Go on.
will be linked in the description. I'm assuming if you're on YouTube, it's in the description.
I'm assuming.
I don't know. What depends on the platform that this is on.
Depends where you
But
are
if you
getting this.
find us on youtube.com/Novympia, all of our stuff is there. Lots of good stuff. Also, if you have any issues that you would like our advice on, please send an email to novympia@gmail.com with the subject header, Absolute Agony.
I wonder if there are listeners and viewers, just listeners who are listening but have never seen our faces.
Maybe.
Our beautiful visages. Yeah. You've put more work into yours than mine today.
Oh, thanks.
Which is usually the case because I go a bit more mask. Thanks. Oh, that'll be it then. We'll catch you in the next one.
All right.
Cheers.
Goodbye. And a huge welcome to our newest patrons, Gareth Jones, Anya Dici, Rogirl, and Miss Oblivia Jane.
Shah would have screamed.
I thought I was going to be able to keep it in. I am moist.
I caught you cracked though. Did you crack, right?
Join the Patron, we'll do a shot of Patron.